What's up? What's on your mind, Vinny?
Thanks, man. So listen, I watched one of your, I watched all of your videos, obviously, but there's this one where you're talking to this one, Palestinian woman, and how do I paraphrase? So there's a part where you're like, I agree that there is a Palestinian identity, but if you look at it for more than 3 seconds, then it is a little bullshit. And I love that thing. I thought it was so good. There was this one part I was like so disagreeing on, open to being wrong though. Here's
Okay.
what it is. You were saying, I don't deny, and I'm sorry to put words in your mouth. Tell me if I'm phrasing this wrong, but you said like, I don't want to deny that there is a Palestinian identity. Like they believe that of themselves, and I can't take that away from them. Like even though it is a bit bullshit, if they believe it, then you can't take that away from them. And I was listening to that, and like the first thing I thought was like, okay, here's the thing. So I'm in Canada. Like here, I could like identify as a tomato plant and a woman on a Tuesday, and then like a gopher on a Wednesday. And like, I mean, like that wouldn't be a good argument to say, well, I believe that. So how are you gonna take that away from me? And even if you were to say, well, there's a Palestinian passport, right? Well, again, I'm in Canada, so like we've now invented like instead of male or female, there's an X. So like we agree with you. You are in fact the tomato plant on Tuesdays. And so that message where you're like, I can't take that away from them. That's what they believe. That's their identity. I mean, how does that work, man? Does that mean that whatever it is that I believe, I should just believe it and that's all right?
No. And that's exactly why I exist, is to combat their beliefs. But in the same example that you brought up, in Canada today, whatever, and I'm not saying legitimately people identifying as tomato plants, but you could imagine there are people that identify as tomato plants, correct? They exist?
Yeah, yeah, they do, sadly. Yeah.
So that's literally all I was saying. There are Palestinians and that identity exists. You can't take that away from them. It exists. You got to work within that framework. That's what I do. I combat their history consistently. I combat their narrative consistently. Do they exist? Yes. That's all I said. They exist today. Regardless if you like it or not, Palestinian nationality and a belief in Palestinian identity exists. My job is not to destroy that identity, it's to combat it. Because they have to work uber hard with me. I this will be the first time I announce it. I'm not going to tell you the exact results right now, but I just did a DNA test. The results I found are fucking crazy. It's going to break the internet. I truly believe this. And I have a specific bone to pick with Palestinians because they kind of destroyed my life or my family's life. And somebody like me is in a prime position to sit there and say, yes, your identity exists, but I'm going to rip it the fuck apart all day, every day. Because I have a personal bone to pick with you now, especially after I did my DNA test. Like, I have a beef with you and with your national identity. Does it exist? It exists. Can I fight it? I'm going to fight it. That's all I say.
How can something both exist and be bullshit at the exact same time?
Can
How can it be both?
can literal bullshit exist? Yes. Can it be bullshit? Yes. Like a scam can exist. It can happen. It exists. It's bullshit, but it's there. It's not. It doesn't like cease into nothingness because you want it to. You have to deal with the framework that's put upon you. You got to fight around it. You can't just make it. You can't just make it disappear. I mean, you can. There are people who exist in this world. They're like, yeah, don't call it Palestine. Don't say Palestine. Don't this. Don't that. You can try to do that all day, every day, and erase what's already started. But baby, we're only 15 million people. Maybe we got maximum another 100 million who support us around that. We're tiny. We're not even a dent. There are billions upon billions upon billions of people who have bought into the scam of Palestine. It's our job to be smarter, to be faster, to be wittier, to be more sassy, to be a little bit more mean, which I am, to be a little more straightforward, and rip that shit apart all day, every day. I can't make it disappear. You can try to. You can live in an ignorance is bliss world, but it's not going to help you. Do you see what I'm saying? I really feel like I defended that point well. I got to be honest with you. I kind of want to pat myself on the shoulder. I feel like I did a good job there. Did I lose you? All right, I think we lost him. Anyways, Vinny, thanks. I don't know. I'm really content with that answer. I felt like I did a very good job defending that point. They exist. You can't change the fact that they exist. You gotta fight. You gotta fight around it. You gotta deal with that framework. It is what it is.